Alrighty, today we are looking at FlashDrive. Hello to all of those on the YouTube end. Welcome into Avala VO. I will probably insert like pictures of chat and all that. Say hello, chat. Chat, say hi. Hi to YouTube. Today we are going to be analyzing literally all of FlashDrive. This was born, the idea for this stream was born for the concept that I put out about a few months ago. I put out a little short video on the channel of VO talking about FlashDrive and how I believe it to be personally very mid. And a lot of people had, there were agreements, there were disagreements, but there were also a lot of people saying that I was just making up shit and just talking out of my ass. So, literally today, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking at every single track from the FlashDrive SSD album, telling my thoughts, giving my very, very in-depth, as critical as I can analysis, not only on the actual tracks themselves, but on the instrumentals and the vocals and the lyrics individually as pieces of this craft. This is going to be a long-ass video. I don't know how much I'm going to be editing this because it would just take a really long time to do that, but I am willing to go all the fucking way to be able to do this. So, what we're going to be doing is, with each track, we are going to be looking at the track itself, we are going to be looking at then the instrumental, and then the vocals and lyrics all at once. So, what we're going to do is, first we're going to listen to every single track. The individual tracks first. So, let's start off with Black. This is a pretty... It's an interesting way to start the album for sure. So, let's go. Yeah. Alright, so the first thing that we have to mention before doing anything else on this record is talking about the most fundamental flaw that it has in its entirety. And that is something that I have brought up so many fucking times, and it has never been paid attention to, except by a select few individuals. It's 4 words. It starts with a B, ends with an S. Bass. There is no bass in this entire album. None. At all. You cannot hear, or rather, you cannot feel the bass. There is the concept of bass in a later track that you can hear it, but it is not audible. It is what's the term? It's feel bass rather than real bass. And that's something that we're going to get into when we look at the instrumentals properly, but god damn it, it frustrates me to no end. Because, for those of you who don't know, bass is literal, just a fundamental concept of what music is. The bass and the drums are what are called the rhythm section, and those drive the song. Without the bass and the drums, you don't have a song. You don't. You literally just don't. From Filtered, he uses clean bass. Just doesn't put distortion on the bass. Yes, that is true, but even if that's the case, you would still be able to hear it. What I'm getting at is that Will has... I want to say it started in early to mid 2023. There was a time, at least before then, Dawn of the Demetrix and onward until I want to say Shot Down by the Mirror was the last song where this was a thing. The bass was so incredibly well... it was very incredibly audible. It was very present in the mix. And then suddenly, around the time that I want to say Are You Proud of Me Now and the Heart of an Artist Resurrection singles came about, just nothing. Absolutely fuck nothing. And it boggles my mind how you could, how you can go from such a bass heavy sound, like there was definitely a lot of it there, to just nothing in the span of maybe a month or so. Again, we're going to get into a lot more as these tracks progress and how I believe that bass could have impacted things better. But yeah, let's rewind a couple seconds. Vocals. I like, this track has just a really nice pace to it. Like, it's got a really groovy feeling. I love that there's that space where the vocals come in. I love that bit. That's something that I really liked about this track, like, even in the original version. I love that Will put this time for just a little bit of space here. I love that. It's good stuff. That's something we're going to talk about in the vocal section right there. Space and then back to it. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just kind of just thinking about things. Just thinking about how I'm gonna talk about this. And I suppose this is where we can kind of stop to talk about things, because FlashDrive SSD is, of course, a remake album of the original FlashDrive released in 2020. And the concept was, all of these tracks, like, they had, like, 2 verses and 2 choruses each. That was kind of the vibe behind them. They were very short tracks, songs made in an hour, and all made in a week. But with this album, Will created a bridge or breakdown or what have you, extending them further, then adding a 3rd chorus to them, which is... it's an interesting structure to have, especially like adding 3 new tracks with Bronze, Silver, and Gold. But it does create a sense of formularity that I feel could have been different throughout. Because we could have had, like, say with this track, it goes into a breakdown, and then a bridge, and then a breakdown, final chorus. What we could have done is we could have gone like breakdown, bridge, chorus, final breakdown, ending. it always ends with either a reprise of a chorus section or just ends with the chorus, except for 2 tracks. 2 tracks are all that I can think of, maybe 3, that always follow that same formulaic feel, where I feel there could have been a little bit more variety, especially across 10 tracks, and that's also amplified by the fact that all of these tracks are within the 4-minute range. There is not a single track that goes under 4 minutes, and there is only one that hits exactly a second behind 5 minutes. They are all about the same length each, which creates a sense of monotony, even though these tracks are very different in terms of their stylistic nature, their keys, their tempos, their compositions. I feel that sentiment of having the songs be about within the same minute's length of each other really puts a damper on a sense of variety. Again, we're gonna get, like, this is probably already very long, but again, this is a sense of me talking about literally everything that this album has to offer. And oh my god, whoa, the ghost light, sorry about that, sorry about the flickering lights there, that was weird. But it's another sense of, like, I'm going to talk about literally everything in this album. If you're here for the deep dive, you are. If you're not, then this video is not for you. So yeah, let's keep going. We'll rewind to about here. I like that bit. Again, we'll talk about it. Lots of stuff to talk about when we get here. It's a nice little touch there. We'll do that. I'm not gonna lie, this part kicks ass. Again, I'm gonna give this album its flowers when it deserves it, and this bit. It kicks ass, what can I say? And I really like that return. Yeah, there is, alright, already, there's a lot that we gotta talk about. So, let's talk about instrumentals first. I really dig, in terms of these instrumentals, again, I've said my piece about the lack of bass and all that happy shit, literally since the beginning. I've said it since, like, the Heart of an Artist Resurrection era. I've said it in like things like Know Your Place or Join the Bloodline or stuff like that, and I've made peace with it. The no bass era is a thing. It exists. It was a fundamental part of this current era of DA's material. But what I do really like is that while there isn't bass, there is a lot that is in the mix to help make up for that fact. When you're looking at Will's stuff already, like just in this beginning bit, something to note about Will's stuff now, in terms of at least the guitar work, it's quad tracked, which means that there are quite a few different sounds happening here. So we have the, but we also have these leads. And then we have that. And then there's like there's three there, and then there's the leads going. We do have to talk about the drums, because the drums of FlashDrive always, they not only never cease to amaze me, because some of the processing here, like some of the programming of these drums, no, they're not real. They've never been real. With Will's material, there have only been like a few songs. Well, yeah, I won't say they've never been real, but there have only been a few songs where they have been actually live tracked. But this is an interesting case because there are some really complex things happening with these instrumentals in terms of the drum work in this album. But they're very flat. They're more focused on being transient beats instead of being the living pulse of the album. I feel like the pulse of the album is much more the vocal performance and the guitar work, which that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the guitar work and the vocals should be more focused on carrying a sense of melody than a sense of rhythm, which is what drum and bass are for. It's an interesting stylistic choice, and there are a couple of tracks where it really works. Like, there are a couple of tracks where the fills are so dense that they can't be anything but transients, that it wouldn't make sense other than for the guitar and melody to carry the track. But in terms of the overall album, it is both a blessing and a curse that happens. Wow. Like, already there's a lot to talk about with how this album is produced and how it is structured. So let's keep going. And in this mix already, you can hear there's little intricate synth patterns happening, like a lot of production stuff, like like in this here, you could hear this kind of like high, soft squiggling sound, like listen again. There's a lot of electronic soundscapey things happening, which is it's really cool. It's cool stuff. I just wish it was a little bit louder in the mix, maybe. And now we have that boom, which is a simplified version of the it's a simplified version of that, made for the bridge to help carry a sense of, again, the pulse, the heart of the track, because this is going like this, but this has there's a difference in the way that that goes. You can have like a kind of circular motion here when you're doing it with this section, but when you get to here, it's like a straight edge slam. That's like a common metalcore thing that's used a lot in more like slammy tracks. And it's, again, this is literally just going to be me going in on every single thing that I can pick out to either give the album its flowers, take them away, or just kind of analyze what some of the influences of specific things are. Again, I'm going to be going kind of all out. Again, whether you're with me on that or not, it's up to you. Then we get this. I really like the synth that's happening here. There's a very chaotic little high synth pattern that's happening there, and it's really cool. I really like that. I don't know why I like that so much. It just kind of tickles my brain a little bit. Again, that's another point forward. Now we got a two-step feeling. And let's open up that space. Opening it all up. Stopping with bringing that synth back, and then going right back in. There's a lot to talk about there. So we start with this like two-step method, and then open a little bit, open completely, and then I really like the way that is structured. There's always a sense of moving into the next thing. There's always a sense of, I think it's really effective in this track where it isn't in others, but there's always a sense of momentum where you can know where everything is going. Like there's always something new happening. I want to say like every 8 or so measures of this track. Like every 4 or 8 measures is just a new thing that pops up, and it's like, ooh, there's that extra oomph to it. There's that extra sense of almost adventure with this track. And again, we'll talk about the lyrics later, but I will admit that because of the lyrics, there is a sense of off to that we'll talk about. But like, see right there, we have this we switch from the to this again, always a sense of momentum, always a sense of carrying. Back to it. Synth. Silence. Boom. Yeah, they are. Not synth. Sorry. Open it up. And further. Now, in here, there is a lot to talk about. So, we already have this more subdued guitar sound. Like it's open chords. But then we have it's almost like a church bell, I would call that. Like some kind of a bell sound effect. Down, down, down. And here's an interesting bit. So we have down, down. Yeah, we get a new kind of a bell sound effect every 4 measures, and in this section specifically, I don't know. There's a distinct edge to the 2 that are in this section versus the 2 that are in this section. It's really interesting. I think it might be because we have these extra guitar chugs that like there's that extra sense of tension that's awaiting the next bell. I really like that. It's, again, like giving the album its flowers, giving credit where it's due. That's a really good section right there. But the drums are really interesting because since the album's start, we've had everything going at once. It always flips, just there's a lot of just doing this kind of a thing with the drums and the kicks. But here, it's just the kicks. And then we have a tss at the last kick. It's interesting the way that bit is structured because it's literally just the kicks there if I'm correct. Which again, it's an interesting method of opening up this space while making it feel so wrong. Because this track has been so chaotic all the way through, that section feels so much more, again, like tense and atmospheric compared to the rest. It's really interesting. Also, hi Memory, welcome into the chat. That is the first time that's... How many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's interesting because throughout the majority of this track, it's like every 4 measures we get something different. This is one of the first times where we have an extended section of 8 whole measures that is just like that same beat. That it's kind of, that's kind of Castle That Burnsy, right? That's, hold on. Right? That's Castle That Burns, no? Chat, help me out here. Wait. Hold on. We're gonna... Am I crazy, chat? Am I crazy for pointing that out? No way. Hold on. The castle that burns! Yeah, that's... Wow. I never cottoned on to that. It's a slowed down version of Castle That Burns. Huh. Just without the extra... It's just the... That's so interesting. I never cottoned on to that before. This is why we do this. This is why we analyze stuff like this. Because then we can spot all the cool shit. That was interesting. I never noticed that before now. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's keep going because we've got this to get to. I love that. That is a super complex, like, it's almost like a mini, like a half of a mini solo, like, and like credit where credit is due, Will doesn't play with a pick, so that is actually even more impressive to me. That is able to happen. Again, giving the album its flowers where it's deserved. Oh, I like that. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then yep, there it is again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then shift. Yeah, dude. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I think that this extension, I'm gonna pull out a hot take here, especially with this as the album version. I love Red. I think Red is my favorite track on the record. However, this extension is arguably the most effective one. That is Winter's hot take of the day. I think that this bridge extension, this bridge breakdown, or a breakdown bridge breakdown, is the most effective extension to increase the intensity of this track. It makes what was already an intense track that much more so. And I really think it works. At least instrumentally, I think it's the most effective one. I might have like Red as a basis to go by later on, but I think right now, to me, you know, thinking back at it, this is easily the most effective one. And I like that. It kind of fakes you out here. I love that. There's almost like a record scratch sound effect with the ARP here. It's womp womp. You got tricked. You can actually hear like there's a note left over from that where it just pulls itself back to bait you into, or like to subvert what was happening previously. Such an interesting track. And then there's actually another bell toll that happens there too. Right? Oh no, the guitars were just bent to make it sound like that. Yeah, overall, instrumentally, I think this track is really effective at what it's doing. I think that, again, that extension is the best out of the extensions of the original 7. Like the original 7 tracks. I think that it just works. Really, really well, I think it works. And my buddy Ninja, he said that this is his favorite track on the album, and for good reason. It's a great way to open it, at least instrumentally. Which is where we get to the lyrics. Because the lyrics betray the instrumental. Like, the vocals betray the instrumental on a fundamental level. Let's move on to talking about these vocals, because they are very interesting. So, we already have... Where's black on black? Just a night with the pack now! Talking about FlashDrive's vocals is interesting because, especially at the Heart of an Artist Resurrection era, Will decided that it would be best, for better or worse, to do some aggressive panning with all of the vocals on each of his collections. What that means is that none of the vocals are in the center of the mix. Like, if we're looking at this from this perspective, imagine this is the center of the mix, right here in front of you. All of the vocals are here. And I don't know if that's just the right choice. Because especially for stuff like this, stuff with a very heavy center, like everything is happening all in like this area primarily. All of it is happening in this area primarily, with some outer stuff like the synths and the ARP happening out here. You need a balance of panning and centering, or you need to just do centering, because it doesn't complement the sound well enough, I don't think. And now we get into the lyrics and the flow. The never-ending cycle of anything viable. I am the canvas, victim of darkness, unholy heartless, falling down a short point, blind for the soulless. If I'm a god, then you're coming with me. The smart alive in the cathedral lies with the truth that untied. Theoretical concepts, logical mindset. This is a bomb with a riot. There are two sets of vocals happening. There is one that is doing the like these kinds of screams, black on black, and then there's another below them that's going raw, like these kinds of screams, black on black, and they work. Let me. It's alright, the never-ending cycle of anything viable. I am the canvas, victim of darkness, unholy heartless, falling down a short point, blind for the soulless. If I'm a god, then you're coming with me. The smart alive in the cathedral lies with the truth that untied. Theoretical concepts, logical mindset. This is a bomb with a riot. Yeah, I think It's really tricky, because this is where we get into easily my second biggest critique of the album that isn't the bass. And that is the meaning behind these tracks in concept versus execution. Black is a track that is meant to represent void, nothingness, destruction. Relentless void and darkness. And I feel like the lyrics, at least in the first two verses in the chorus, convey that well. But like, if you had thought for a second we're a force to be reckoned with, count your lucky stars, incinerate the never-ending cycle. That's a hard bar, by the way. I'm the canvas, a spectrum of darkness, the unholy heartless, falling down short, point blank through the soulless. Like, it's got this. I feel as though this track would be better suited to something more along the lines of I feel like these lyrics would be much more suited towards something along the lines of Knocked Loose in terms of the style. Because right now what we have, it's a very classic, like, speed metalcore, I would say. Like, it goes at like that boom boom, but I feel like for something like this, you need an alternation between the slow and the fast, which is what Knocked Loose excels at. They are great for the dichotomy between a tension and release in feeling. And I feel like while this track does have tensions and releases, there's often, in Knocked Loose stuff, there's always points where it just boo, boo, boo. Like there's always like, when there is release in Knocked Loose, it's always just pound, 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 but do it slowly and methodically until you feel like you're about to break, and then it brings back the fast. This track is just fast, 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 fast the whole way through. Except for, now this is the interesting point, especially with the vocals. There is this where it slows itself down. This. And I love these, the way that these vocals present themselves. Very minor, very eerie and creepy. And this harmony. I love that bit because there is this sense of just impending doom coming from this section, and it's what makes this it's what makes this drop hit so hard. It's what makes that hit so hard. I love that. But then we get into this section, which... Mask your emotional decline from the devil's own hands! Mask your emotional decline from the devil's own hands. I want to say that's like... when you're in this null and void, just mask it. Mask any pain or remorse that you may feel so that you can just carry out this destruction without mercy, without any remorse. Let them take your arm, dancing prairies made of sand! Let them take your arm, dancing prairies made of sand. There's not a lot of correlation there. And then we get into this, which is... Buy time till your blood runs thinner! Deeper goes the cut, time for dinner with the lad! Rusty clams, lose your deep! What are rusty clams? What does that mean? Will, I am asking you this directly. What does rusty clams mean? Because I've been trying to figure that out for a couple of months now. I have no idea. I don't know what rusty clams means. Well, in this context or that of Join the Bloodline, it feels like this section was just cracked together without any sort of like cohesion or meaning behind it. It feels undercooked vocally and lyrically. And I don't quite get it because this album had so much time in the oven. Dividing you without your damn. And I feel like, especially that lyric, dividing you without a damn, that's a good lyric. I think that could have ended off the section really well if the rest of it had held up. But then we get to this, and this is really cool. Breach the brain! Breach the brain! I saw this in Darth Nath's reaction. Friend of the channel, Darth Nath. They're the artist for Sammy, Psychotic Fox, Lone Wolf Music. But he interpreted that bit as a vocal filter. No, because that is an actual technique that is like rolling your R along with a scream. Breach the brain, new ray from brains. Like, you don't get a lot of it, it was Mr. Alex Terrible of Slaughter to Prevail really capitalized on the ability to do that and kind of made it more of a presence in modern metal. And people have been doing it more often. Will Ramos has done it. Will has done it a couple times in something like Join the Bloodline. But no, that is not a filter. That is a genuine, like, actual full screen. Like, Christ the brain! No life for a brain! Like, from brains. I really like how that's done. Otherwise, this track is okay lyrically. I think it gets its job done, but it's honestly like nothing truly special. Overall, I think that this song is a decent enough introduction to the album. I don't think it's perfect by any means. I think that the vocals could have used a little bit more time in the oven. Like the lyrics and vocals, especially that bridge breakdown section. Like this bit. Like that bit. To the end of that upwards to dividing you without a dam. I think, I don't know what I would replace it with myself, but I don't know. But it is decent. All right, now we are on to Purple, which this track and I have a very, let's say, strained relationship. Ooh, boy. I think the first about 2 minutes of this song are great. I think it's the first 2 minutes. Yeah, the first about 2 minutes of this song are great. Like, they're good, great even. But the final 2 minutes do nothing but piss me off. So let's get into it. Oh boy.
To the haze of a purple remedy, the lake will guide you to another world. Settle into your sleep again and dream of when we're young. Deep gazing through the eye of a vapor, bound by a sea that carries your heart, taken by the hand of an angel, drowning underneath.
Those harmonies are so good.
I can't remember how much longer it's been since the velvet come of day. Yet maybe the tides will show me the way as they carry me closer to the harmony forevermore. Lift me up and hold me closer. Fly me over and find me on the sky. Save me, let me grab the hand that feeds. Take me, let me hear your aching heart no more. While we hide behind the purple veil. There's a peace on the earth, I'm calm with it. The rainbow took my breath. Sweetly I'm embracing sight, no longer dark remains. So what if we surmise to the leaves?
These are the best harmonies.
So what if all that's left is silence? The water rises and creates all vibrance to bring me home far away from violence.
I love that bit. To bring me home far away from violence. There is... We'll get into it. And it, you know what? We'll just get it out of the way. Because...
And how did I deserve this time with you? As they carry me closer to the heart.
You know what this track does, chat? It pisses me off. Just on a fundamental level, dude. This track is frustrating. Fundamentally fucking frustrating. Let's break it down here. The first 2.5 minutes are fine. The first 2.5 minutes are frankly fucking wonderful. They have this beautiful... Listen to this. That piano, the synth work, it's just... And the vocals have this... There's an intensity to them, but you can feel the movement and the heart and the soul. There's so much here. Like, that piano is so alive, it's so gentle and moving. The harmonies in this, and especially here. So what if we surmise to the leaves and the vines? Like, there's so much goodness in this first 2.5 minutes. But then it all gets completely fucked up because Purple, the original Purple, is a song about finding peace. It is a song about finding tranquility. It is a song about finding oneself in a world that is chaotic around you, but you find that sense of tranquility within yourself. And that's all that matters. And that's why Red is such an explosion of anger, because that is the moment that chaos feeds in. So then I politely ask, what the fuck is this? This entire section right here that I'm highlighting. From right here to right there. What is this? Because that is not peace. Nuh-uh-uh. That is not tranquility. No. That is... It is so tonally deaf to its own design as a song. It is flawed. Like, fundamentally, a song that starts with such a piano, like this light, airy, smooth, beating heart tone, should not contain, like, imagine, humor me here. Listen to this. Listen to this. Every element, the snaps, the piano, the little synth patterns here, these vocals. Got it all in your head? Got it all in your head? Chat, do you got it all in your head? Are you following what I'm doing? Compare that to this. If you are correctly following me here, it's not the same song. It is completely different in terms of stylistics. It is incredibly tonally inconsistent. The way the vocals are structured is different. The screams, those just don't belong there. The guitar work coming in, it feels so much more... It feels wrong to have this here. Now, what I will say, this is a critique. What I'm about to say here, I have a feeling that there could have been a way to make this happen without either the use of screams or the use of the guitar. And that would be the extremely simple solution of using orchestration. Not guitars, not the distortion. Put your foot off that pedal. Violins, the horns, the vast, more reverby drum hits. That swell would have worked so much better in this kind of a track. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Because if I am, I will concede. And to those of you who are watching this on Eval VO when it comes out, tell me if I'm wrong. Because I would love to find any way to make this section work. But it doesn't. It just doesn't work. It betrays the song itself. The song itself as an entity is flipped entirely tonally by this section. It is legitimately horrible to me. I hate Purple. It is one of the very, very few songs written by Will that I can genuinely say, because of this section, this right here, it holds no artistic value to me. Because this kind of piece, this kind of switch, is brought purely to create a wow reaction. It is purely to create a, like, cheers in a crowd. It is purely to create clicks on a video, reactions on a stream. But it is not built because of artistic integrity, musical integrity, knowledge of how music is structured. It is the antithesis of what the original means. It represents I'm trying to find the right words here. It represents the ultimate musical falsehood when the original Purple is nothing but complete musical honesty. This track is a fundamental failure. And I don't see it any other way. I don't. There's something so just gross about listening to this song. There really is. It just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel gross listening to this song because it defeats the entire purpose of what FlashDrive is, to capture feelings, to capture authentic human feelings. It's just... hate this song. And you know what? That is a genuine human emotion. That is something that can be captured. Because this song does it for me. I am not going to go into the instrumental or the vocals on this one. I'm just not. This song is just disgusting to me. I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of my being. And it's compounded by the fact that I love the original Purple so much. The original Purple was my third favorite track off of the original FlashDrive. My order went red, white, purple. But purple, red, and white were so far above the others in that list that I feel like purple would be like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's just... it got so butchered. It really did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't agree, but I'm not sorry for feeling the way I do, because this is just, it's embarrassing. Wow. I need a second, chat. I need a fucking second. Wow. God damn it, man. Thinking about this song pisses me off. It really does. It's just disgusting. It's just embarrassing. It's so... I'm not trying to be overdramatic. This is literally a stain on Will's body of work. This is easily one of his worst songs. Period. It is so antithetical to not only what this song is about, but what FlashDrive is about. Capturing authenticity. It is a fabrication. It is built on inauthenticity. Fuck, man. I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. I really do. I hate this song. So legitimately much. It's disgusting to me. It really is. God damn it, man. It just pisses me off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's always like right there when I'm sitting that close or that far away. It just... Sorry. Oh, fuck. This track just hurts. Because I did have genuinely such high hopes for it when this album came out. Like, this was one of those songs that I was really looking forward to, but... God damn it, man. Whew. Again, chat, I'm sorry for putting a bummer on what's happening here. Wow. All right. That's how this one feels to me. I need a second, chat. Alright, so... Alright. This would be where I sync up the rest of the recording. God damn it, man. But the good thing about purple being so bad is that we move on to peak immediately.
It's always running round in circles in my brain. There's just too much down to stay. We are too busy to remain now. Another day, another problem for me. Always red is the sea of blood. I'm going for the very time I'm following, create every single breath I'll take. With the limit is broken, I can't hide it. So,
leaves.
It's every day and I can't keep this in. Just march forward, there's in the air. It's like I always care to find the one is right. I can't take the edge of tomorrow. I feel it's working sorrow. Hold me close, 'cause you will see it's the red rage inside me. Watch through these walls, I can't even take you out. But don't feel like that's now that blind. All the wires with no action to take. There's nothing special in sight. So many wrinkles are made. So, fucked off my plate. You will leave like a magnet. Don't rush forward. Act like you care. It's not about
It just kicks so much ass. Those little leaves.
pain, nothing comes closer to the skin I wear. Burning before doesn't hurt anymore. Pierces the heart, it will grow back just like ours. I was marked from the start. Keep me tied up, you'll regret it. Chain me to spine, bring me to ingress. I will keep it the simplest. Your blood plays like red on the walls. Cause the darkest light. There is my tender place. Swear no to the sinner, for I'll be your killer. You will taste the power.
Solo. Really love this lead pattern here. It's just peak. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, this song does everything right. The emotion stays true to itself while adding more. The rhythm is so clean. The vocals are so pronounced. It almost feels like there's bass because the guitars are tuned as low as they are. That bridge breakdown build-up is so clean. The final chorus, the only thing that would have made it better, chat, and I did this in my cover, so I don't know why Will didn't do it in his cover. You know, I don't know about you guys, but the only thing that could have made it even better like, how fucking cool would that have been? How cool! Fuck yeah, man! And then fucking just... Or rather, like, just... And then just here, imagine if this happened. Fucking... It... Just imagine, for a moment... Like, that fucking around with some of the pitches on that. Ooh. Chef's kiss. Fuck yes. Is the correct response that anyone should have. Because god damn it, this track is the one that deserved a key change. Not you. That one. Not this one. This one. Red deserved yellow's key change. Anyway, getting a bit off topic there. Sorry, just had to bring that up, maybe. You know, someone has an idea, maybe they can do it in their cover. Oh, wait! But let's get into it. So, I just love this song, man. I don't know if there's anything that I can say that would just point out how good it is. What I really like about it is that there's not a lot of synth work. I was talking about earlier with Black how there's just a lot of little things going on in the mix. And in Purple there is too, to be fair. Like this chorus. There's these little kind of elements. Jammer Party. Hello. But yeah, there's a lot of these like like there's those like beautiful little chime. I think they might be chimes. I don't know. But here it's just the guitar and drums. And then these like pre-chorus breakdowns. Listen to this shit. These leads. like, it loses the synth work for the rawness of the guitar work. And I really think that was just the correct choice for this song. And then we have... like these little... very simple, like, chromatic stuff happening here. But, like, tense, and with the drums building. And these are also harmonies for that later section that I was talking about that I liked with those leads. And then just... and then we go into this really slick guitar solo, which is just what the track needed, I think. And then, if you've noticed, these are the harmony work to this. Connective tissue. Again, it just does it right. Like it just has this consistent groove. So nice. And then bring this back. Flipping up the drums. And then just this fucking shit. It's just really well constructed instrumentally. It flows super well. Again, I do think that Black's extension serves the song better, like as a whole, but that guitar solo just serves the track in a much cleaner way than anything else could have. Especially after the breakdown. It has this really tense sense of like the way that flows. Like it goes from a brings it to a lighter kind of sensibility right at the end there before that guitar solo kicks in. I really like it. And then the vocals. The vocals are interesting here because there is this really interesting vocal effect that there's a really interesting vocal effect that Will has used since the Heart of an Artist Resurrection era, where it has
another day, another problem for me. Always red as the sea of blood.
It makes the high ends higher and it compresses his vocals to like literally just this, but he's able to again pan the vocals in a way that makes that compression sound more natural, but at the same time it makes it sound almost unreal, the vocals. Like they almost sound auto-tuned because of this effect that he has placed on them and the heavy processing that has gone along with that effect. But I think for this track it really works because it combines the nature of the effect to create this really gritty style.
Another day, another problem for me. Always red as the sea.
Another day, another problem for me. Like that kind of just oomph. And he doesn't even have to do that with it. He could just do it with another day, another problem for me. And then it would still retain that sound with the effect, but adding on just the another day, another problem for me. Like that adds so much to the effect that is happening here. And then
So done with this bullshit. It's every day and I can't keep this in.
you'll notice that under these screams, I didn't catch this until my covers of this were done, but so done with this bullshit. It's every day that I can keep this in. Just a march forward, face in the air. Like, there's a clean bit. Say, just march forward, fist in the air. It's like I always get to fight for what is right. Like, there's a clean vocal layer under there that enhances just the space of the sound that's happening there. It's really cool. And then the radio effect.
So please let me breathe. I can take the edge of tomorrow. I'll feel this work in sorrow.
And even though this chorus has, you know, the power, like, I can take the edge of tomorrow, Will performs it more like, I can take the edge of tomorrow. Like, he performs it more lightly because this chorus has such an air of a brightness around it that is a stark contrast to everything else that's going around with the song. Will said in the Let's Talk video, like explaining what all of these mean, that red is essentially black but with more levity and more lightness. And I think it really comes through in this version of the song specifically, because there is that lightness in the chorus that is disparate from all of the other elements of the track. I love it. I really do. I love this track and how it's constructed, and then just
Hold me close, cause punch through these walls. I came and take you up.
those screams are so vicious. Punch through these walls. I came to take you out. Like it's.
All the wires with no action to take. There's nothing special
then-
in fate. So maybe recount your.
Don't make me recount your fate. Like, ugh. There's such an energy to this track that is not present in any of the others that makes me love it that much more. It's just so cohesive across the track. And then we get into this.
Hey, there's the red rage inside me. In pain, nothing comes closer to the skin I wear. Burning before doesn't hurt anymore. Pierces the heart, it will grow back just like art. I was mad from the start.
The rage, the red in those vocals. In pain, nothing comes closer to the skin I wear. Bloodshed before doesn't hurt anymore. Pierce at the heart, it will grow back just like art. I was mad from the start. Like, it's just, there's such an intensity here.
Before doesn't hurt anymore. Pierces the heart, it will grow back just like art.
You can hear him take a breath there because he's running out of it because of the intensity.
It will grow back just like art.
Grow back just like. Ugh.
Will grow back just like art. I was mad from the start.
Like, ah, man. And then just.
We'll keep it the simplest. Your blood paints like red on the walls. Cause the darkest place. Beneath my kindred place. Swear no to the sinner, for I'll be your killer. You erase the blow in me.
There's a slight fade effect there. Like, it's very slight. It's not quite when the vocals finish. Like, it's not quite faded when the vocals finish. But, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And then the re-entrance.
I can't take.
I can't take. And then
You'll understand when you say it's the red rage inside me.
sign me.
It's the red rage inside me.
Like just ugh. And then gotta love that. And then the depth of the screams here.
Maybe you'll understand what you say. It's the red rage inside me.
Inside me. Like ugh. It's my favorite song on the album. So easily. It's just so cohesive unto itself, and it's such a breath of fresh air after Purple, which is the opposite of that. Yeah, I love this track. If it weren't for the bass being gone, I would say this is a 10 out of 10. With the bass being gone, it's like an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10, which is the best that this album gets. But oh my god, yeah. This fucking track is so incredibly cool in a lot of unique ways that the others are not. It's just, ugh. It's so cool. It's so fucking cool.